Domestic violence is the second leading cause of death among Black women.
Post reporters analyzed data from 47 major U.S. cities, and in a closer examination of homicides in 5 of those cities, the reporters found that more than a third of the men implicated in a domestic killing were known to be potential threats.
82% of victims under 18 are female.
A new analysis by the Washington Post finds domestic violence plays an even larger role in the deaths of far too many women. The numbers are staggering. Nearly half, 46%, of more than 4,400 women killed in the past decade died at the hands of an intimate partner.
A young woman in her mid-20s who was considered a hero to her students as she was known as one of the best teachers at her elementary school, but also known as a hero to her friend after her life was cut short due to a domestic dispute that didn't even involve her. This is the story of Shantavia Briana Reddick. Shantavia Briana Reddick, nicknamed Bree, blessed the world with her presence on September 6, 1997 in Lakeland, Florida. According to reports, she grew up in a God-fearing family that kept her grounded, humble, and focused. She was baptized in 2008 at the True Vine Missionary Baptist Church, where it said she served as a youth usher, youth choir member, summer camp worker, a praise dancer, and praise dance instructor, and she remained a member of the Baptist Church for the rest of her years. Growing up, she had the ambitions of becoming a school teacher as from a young age, she was described to have a natural-born talent for teaching, serving as a children's church helper, teacher, and director. But it's her 4th grade teacher, Mark Cuddy, who she credits for being the fuel behind her ambition of becoming a school teacher. Between the 6th and 10th grades, it's said she was homeschooled, but once she approached her junior year of high school in 2016, she physically attended and graduated from Klein Collins High School in Spring, Texas, walking in her path of being an educator as she went on to earn her bachelor's degree at Prairie View A&M University. But Shantavia's accolades didn't stop there. The outstanding young Black woman took it further and got her master's degree in curriculum and instruction just last year, 2023, at Texas State University. She began her career as an educator at Ben Eki Elementary School as a paraprofessional while completing her student teaching. And sidebar, if I'm mispronouncing that name, please forgive me. I did look up how to pronounce it. I'm known for mispronouncing words sometimes, so if I pronounced it wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. But moving forward, she went on to be awarded as Rookie Teacher of the Year upon completion of her first year teaching in 2020 at Smith Elementary School in Spring, Texas, where she taught 3rd graders. Shantavia was a trailblazer, setting the path she made for herself ablaze as she skated through all her trials and tribulations triumphantly, making it look easy to any and everybody, proudly watching from the figurative stands and doing it all at just the earlier part of her 20-somethings. Shantavia was described by both her students and peers as one of those educators who truly cared about the present and future lives of her students. She wasn't someone that showed up for a check. She showed up to make a difference. She was kind, she was encouraging, she was loving, she was a mentor, a friend, a leader by example. Her heart was pure. Her heart was big. She had God's light within her that shone through her beautiful melanated skin. She cared so much for those that she loved, including her friends. And that's why what happened to her just a few days after her 26th birthday on behalf of her friend was earth-shattering to all who were blessed with knowing Shantavia. You see, the Harris County Sheriff's Office received a call that a young woman had been shot multiple times at Springwoods Village apartment complex at 2323 East Mossy Oaks Road in Spring, Texas at approximately 5:30 a.m. on Saturday, September 9th, 2023. When police arrived at the location, another young woman was on the scene and said that it was her friend that had been shot, the friend being Shantavia Reddick. Unfortunately, Shantavia, who was found found in the elevator lobby of the apartment complex's parking garage, had succumbed to her gunshot wounds and was deceased on arrival. But not only was Shantavia gone, her beloved fur baby, her dog, had also been shot to death. And the person who did it was 28-year-old Dimitri Humphrey, who immediately went on the run in a white Jeep Wrangler with the Texas license plate TFN 4278. Authorities quickly put out a bolo for Dimitri in efforts of catching him before he could try to flee anywhere. And I'll get back to Dimitri in a moment after we talk about why this even happened. So why did Dimitri shoot Shantavia and her dog, claiming their lives that Saturday morning? Well, apparently Shantavia's homegirl, whose identity has never been revealed in any of the reports I looked over, had been in an abusive relationship with this Dimitri guy and had been for a while. Dimitri had been over at his girlfriend's house early that morning, being the abusive demon that he was, and it's alleged that she called her friend Shantavia. Now, it's not said if she called Shantavia and asked her to come over there or if Shantavia decided to go over there on her own, but either way, Shantavia went over there with the intention of helping her friend get away from her abuser. And it's not said if when she got there that an argument ensued or whatever the particulars are that led to Dimitri shooting Shantavia and her dog, but that's what he did. He shot her pup, and left them there for dead, and with the friend calling the authorities right after. The friend was unharmed in the process. It didn't help Dimitri's case that he was already wanted on unrelated felony warrants, so authorities were on his tail with new homicide charges in tow, according to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. Authorities released his photos to the public along with the details of the vehicle he fled in and asked the public to please reach out to them if and when they see him anywhere, warning the public to be safe as Dimitri was deemed armed and dangerous. Well, a week and change had gone by before authorities finally were able to catch up with him, but when they did, it resulted in more bullets flying and bloodshed. It was Wednesday, September 20th, when police said they received information that Dimitri knew someone in the area of Riverside Park and that he may have been hanging around there. So officers had set up surveillance for hours, plotting to move in on him if they saw him. And at approximately 1 p.m., sure enough, Dimitri pulled up to the park in the white Jeep. He got out of his vehicle and he sat on a slide in the park. Police waited to make sure that nobody was around, and they started to close in on him and approach him. And this is when Dimitri pulls his firearm out and started booming at the police while he trying to run away. He running up a hill and he ended up behind a vacant home. And this is when 5 officers consisting of 2 Department of Public Safety troopers and 3 Harris County deputies started returning fire. Boom, boom, boom. They shooting back at him. It's a whole shootout going on. So they finally hit Dimitri, resulting in him collapsing near the 2600 block of Calumet Street in 3rd Ward, Houston. And again, if I mispronounced that street name, forgive me, correct me in the comments. But after Dimitri collapsed, he was deceased right there on the scene. Police described it as a very dangerous moving gun battle in broad daylight that could have ended up far worse, being that there's families in the area and everything like that, but thank God that it didn't. So Dimitri lost his life the same way that he took Shantavia and her pup's life, and whether or not that's justice enough for Shantavia's family is completely up to them and their perspective. Her students and her peers at the elementary school that she worked at expressed how much they missed her and how much of an impact she made on everyone there. And before her untimely demise, Shantavia had planned on taking a bit of a break and traveling before venturing on to achieving more educational feats and getting her doctorate degree, which I think is safe to say she would have definitely been able to do that. As we can tell, she truly obtained any and all things that she set her mind to, but unfortunately, she never got that chance. Now, I've covered stories in the past that fell under the topic of domestic violence, but I don't think I've ever covered such stories where a friend of the person going through it had been victimized by the abuser. Shantavia showed up in support of her friend, and she lost her life while trying to help save her friend's life. I can only imagine the amount of guilt that her friend is probably living with right now, still to this day. I did see some people on Facebook saying things like, oh, this is why I stay out of domestic disputes. If he or she could do something like that to their partner, who's to say they wouldn't do it to me? I would have never went over there. Well, that's what makes us all different as humans, right? We all handle things differently. And what I can say about Shantavia is she cared deeply for her friend. She loved her friend. She supported her friend, and she only wanted to be there for her in her time of need. And that was very brave of Shantavia. Clearly, she cared deeply since she showed up at 5:30 in the morning for her friend. I also would like to say that I highly, highly doubt that the friend would have ever suspected Dimitri would take the life of Shantavia, or she wouldn't never called her to come over there. And so, it's just very unfortunate the way that things happened in this story. Of course, my heart goes out to Shantavia's family, her students, and all those who loved her and adored her. She was definitely a gem in a world full of rubble. Rest in heavenly peace, beautiful Shantavia Reddick. Your life was cut way too short after achieving so much in your brief life. It's truly agonizing that you're no longer here on earth in your human vessel, but may your spirit live on with your loved ones forever. You'll never be forgotten.